Hello, Iris J here with Madrona's Pulse Teachings. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to moving through these times into our Aries total solar eclipse. There is Nikita welcoming you back as well. And I just want to chat with you a little bit about these energies, these kind of soul drive cosmic realms that are opening to us as we move through this weekend into the eclipse, which is happening on April 8th. It is happening right around 2:20 p.m. Eastern time, and it is at 19 degrees of Aries. We're talking about the sun, moon, and Chiron all conjunct there in Aries. I have another video, the link is below, that's kind of looking more at these kind of core energies that this eclipse is bringing us into. And here I just really want to talk about, you know, kind of this theme. Like, let's start with the question, what does your heart want? What is your heart singing of? What is your heart guiding you to? The moment that I'm making this video, the sun is conjunct the north node, and then the sun is going to keep moving towards its conjunction with Chiron. Venus is going to move out of Pisces into Aries. So we're going to have, like, we have so much Aries activation there. We're going to have Venus there. We've got the sun, moon, and Chiron north node for the eclipse. We've got Mercury retrograde is going to be conjunct Eris. And then we have quite a bit of Pisces energy as well. And so it's like these little realms of our chart are just being activated, and that means they're being activated in our psyche, and especially with the connection between Pisces and Aries. You know, this is literally in the zodiac, in archetypal evolutionary astrology. This is the ending, coming into a new cycle. This is what Pisces, as we finish that tour around the zodiac in Pisces, as we dissolve the ego and we return into source, and then we begin again. And we move into Aries, and hopefully that cycle is working with a higher vibration of self-aligned with soul and spirit. Hopefully, those of us that are working with these realms and on this path and really feeling into these spiritual lives that we are here to live. I mean, we're on these spiritual journeys, and this is what eclipses really help us open to. And so it brings me back to that question, what does your heart want? What is it singing for? What is it imagining? What is the blood coursing through your veins wanting to connect you with? And that might just be an imagined state of being. That might be an imagined life. That might be living without something that has been in our life for a while. Whatever it is, big or small, there is this kind of heart opening that we can move through that really, you know, think back to. It's been a busy week. I'm like, what day is it that I'm making this? It's Thursday, April 5th when I'm making this, and it's going up. No, it's not. It's the 4th. There it is. It's April 4th, and it's going up on the 5th. And so especially, you know, leading up to the eclipse, we had Venus conjunct Neptune on the 3rd in Pisces at 28 degrees. It's, you know, it's this opening, and it's meant to be kind of visceral, especially with the Pisces energy. Aries feels into it. It's a strong impulse. Mercury is retrograde. You know, it really is yearning, desire, heart opening, taking some time and journaling with what's been coming up, having a coffee with a dear one and just kind of free flow chatting about what's been coming up. You might be having so much coming up that you can't even imagine to have a moment to take a break. And if that's the case, it's even more important, even if it's like coming down the stairs, to just stop, lean against the wall, feel the support of the wall, hand on heart, and just take a few breaths for yourself, really feeling the support of the wall. If you're in a chair, really feeling the support of the chair, because there is always, even when we're in the depths and we're in the void and it feels like there isn't support. This is why I named the group that I work with on Patreon Cosmic Rhythms, because there is always support, yet we have to kind of unlearn a lot of conditioning and feel our way into that cosmic support. And it comes through vibrations and rhythms and feeling. It comes through embodied connection, embodied belonging. I just did a beautiful book launch on embodied belonging yesterday, as Neptune was conjunct Venus. What a gift. I don't plan my life around these things. It's just beautiful when it opens. And feel the support. And sometimes literally just pausing and feeling the support of the wall holding us, or the chair, while we take conscious, mindful breaths and feel into our embodied sensations. That can be just the practice of remembering that we are supported. And then, of course, leaning into the humans and animal companions and tree companions and earth and water companions that create that support. And that's Pisces energy as well, just feeling into that. And you know, Mars is coming into its conjunction with Saturn, and this is really significant because Mars rules all that Aries energy. I talked about this quite a bit in the video that's linked below, but you know, that's why when we come into an eclipse portal, really letting us be guided by the question and like hand on heart, what is opening, what is juicy to me as I imagine the next year, 5 years, 20 years of my life. You know, sometimes just allowing ourselves to imagine is healing. And some of us grew up surviving so much and are still surviving that we kind of didn't have time to nurture those kind of imaginations and the longing and just the dreams of living in tune with cosmic rhythms that are always co-creating with us. And if all this sounds good, you should check out Cosmic Rhythms on Patreon, and just journeying forth with that. And the eclipse, you know, a lot of times events happen, things come up at an eclipse and they can literally change our path, but there's so much that's going on in the internal realm. And with all of the Pisces energy that's present with Aries, especially with Mercury retrograde through Aries, it might feel very healing and supportive to lean into Pisces energy. Because there it's actually not about us. It's about us feeling what our heart, which is aligned with soul and is aligned with spirit and is connected to the co-creative web that is to be an interconnected being. When we feel into that and we live from that heart-centered space, which is not always easy, and in Western culture, it is not traditionally structured around heart-centered lives. And yet when we choose that for ourselves, even if it's in like a small way, a ritual that I have for myself every day, or letting myself take a class about something that I'm just curious about, it like so much is always like, quit the job, get the huge business, do this. And it's the moments when we choose heart that I believe so much healing happens. And because of the mediascapes that most of us live in, it's usually our attention is kind of, our gaze is held on these like big, and sometimes it really is the small moments in the in-between when so much healing and connection. And then the more and more that we allow ourselves to come into that, all of a sudden it's like our life is different, something's different. And maybe along that path, our work did change, or along that path, we met a group and it helped us find our heart song. Sometimes we really need help coming into that. And that's also part of why we're here. We're not here to be superhuman individuals. And that is also what this eclipse is about, because it is about Aries energy, and it is about coming into a higher rung of Aries energy, coming out of that divine primordial soup that is Pisces. And as we come out of that and we're birthed into a literal new cycle, which is pretty incredible because that is part of what this eclipse is working with, there is a deep soul calling of Chiron. And Chiron, you know, I think is one of the deepest mystical connections, regardless of what sign we have Chiron in our natal chart, of empowerment to come through in our whole life. And yet Chiron is energy that emerges, you know, at very, very different stages in our life. And Chiron is an ancient teaching and an ancient energy and an ancient wisdom. And we have to have been doing it a few times to start embodying these higher rungs of Chiron in a way that it is a guiding force of healing and really the integration that comes on this life journey. And we have a new moon eclipse conjunct Chiron. It's incredible. And it's usually not easy. And it is a process unfolding. And that's all the more reason why I think it's so important to take some time, especially over the weekend, and just journey with this question. What does my heart want? What is my heart singing? What is my heart guiding me to? What is my heart imagining? What is my heart bringing up? Maybe it's bringing up an old dream, like maybe it's bringing up a childhood dream, and because life is life and it is hard, that dream got tucked away, or maybe it got forgotten for a while, and there's probably a pretty good reason for that. And maybe it's coming up now and it's like, sweetie pie, yeah, it's time. And we have a lot of support with that. And again, this Chiron energy is here and it might be bringing up old wounds. I think it's so important that with this energy that's here, this is wounds that they might demand to be witnessed by us. And a great way of witnessing is journaling, is talking out loud, stream of consciously, is working with a medium, whether it's paint or just moving the body, not repressing. This energy does not want to be repressed. And if we repress it, it's probably going to create a lot of dysregulation within the psyche and the body. And it might be stressful and it might cause anxiety. And so again, whatever supports you need, if that's calling your therapist, if that's calling your friend, if that's just, I need an hour with the door closed and I need to just be with myself, if it's having a bath, whatever it is. But witnessing what's coming up, honoring what's coming up, honoring the lives that we have lived to get us here. We do not have to be proud of every single moment that got us here. We do not have to be perfect. This energy is not about being perfect. Aries is not perfect. Aries can actually be quite messy. Aries is not the perfectionist of the zodiac. That's why Aries can do what Aries does. And all of us are being called and invited into this kind of new experience of Aries energy. It doesn't matter if you have anything in Aries or not. It's just the archetype that is radiating and vibrating for us. And so really cultivating a little bit of time. And again, if it's literally walking down the stairs, it's walking down the stairs. If it's having a bath, it's having a bath. If it's claiming the car for yourself so that you can go pick up whatever the kids need, but you're by yourself in the car and you've got your music on and you're just letting it flow. We want to let this move through us, and it doesn't want to be repressed, because unblocking it is what helps us break through and enter into new journeys. That said, there's a lot of other ways of unblocking and witnessing then traditional kind of Western psychology is open to. And this is where the archetypes in our chart and spirituality and the elemental spirituality of earth-based wisdom can really help us move and again connect into that interconnectedness. And all of this can be coming up during this eclipse portal. And so may we journey well, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.